1982 Washington Quarter. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1982 Washington Quarter. This coin may seem like just another piece of change, but it has an intriguing history and can be worth more than its face value to the right collector. Let's explore its background, the key details, and what makes this quarter unique. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932, celebrating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, this coin features Washington's profile on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. The 1982 quarter, however, is particularly interesting due to a few key factors that we'll uncover. In 1982, the U.S. Mint faced a unique challenge due to budget constraints. They decided not to produce proof sets or uncirculated mint sets for that year. As a result, finding high-quality 1982 quarters in circulation is rare, making them particularly valuable to collectors. Now let's talk specifics. The 1982 Washington Quarter was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D Mint Mark, and San Francisco S Mint Mark, though the San Francisco Mint only produced proof coins in earlier years, not in 1982. What makes the 1982 quarter stand out is that it's made from a copper nickel clad with no silver content, unlike quarters produced prior to 1965, which contained 90% silver. This composition -91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel was typical for quarters post-1965. However, what makes the 1982 quarter interesting is the difficulty in finding high-grade examples. The lack of collector sets that year meant most quarters were heavily circulated, leading to fewer surviving in pristine condition. When it comes to value, condition is everything. For circulated 1982 quarters, the value is typically just their face value of 25 cents. However, in uncirculated condition, the value can jump significantly. For example, an uncirculated 1982p or 1982d quarter in mint state MS65 condition can be worth between $10 and $20. In MS67 condition, prices can reach up to $1,000 or more due to their rarity. So what should you look for when searching for a valuable 1982 quarter? Pay close attention to the detailed sharpness in the lettering, minimal wear on Washington's hair, and strong luster. Quarters with full details on the eagle's wings and chest are particularly desirable. As you can see, the difference between a well-circulated and a high-grade quarter is significant. A sharp strike and minimal wear can dramatically increase a coin's value. Now let's talk about market value. As of insert current date, a 1982 quarter in average circulated condition is still worth its face value. However, in higher grades, the value can increase substantially. For instance, MS65 examples can range from $10 to $20, while MS67 examples can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. 1974 Washington Quarter. The 1974 Washington Quarter is part of this long-standing tradition, but what makes this coin particularly interesting? Let's dig a little deeper into its history and production details. In 1974, Washington quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced quarters with distinct characteristics. The Philadelphia Mint didn't use a mint mark, while Denver used a D and San Francisco used an S. However, it's important to note that the quarters from San Francisco in 1974 were only produced as proof coins, meaning they were not intended for circulation, but rather for collectors. Proof coins from San Francisco have a mirror-like finish and are struck multiple times to ensure sharp details. They're usually found in special sets. Before 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver, but due to rising silver prices, the composition was changed to a copper nickel clad, which is what you'll find in the 1974 quarter. This means that the 1974 Washington Quarter is made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs about 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. In general, a circulated 1974 quarter is worth its face value just 25 cents. However, if you have an uncirculated or proof coin, the value can increase. An uncirculated coin with no signs of wear might be worth around $1 to $3 depending on the market. Proof coins, especially in their original packaging, can be valued at around $5 to $10 or more. Factors like condition, luster, and any errors or variations can greatly impact the value. For instance, coins with mint errors like doubled die obverses can be quite valuable to collectors. Speaking of errors, while the 1974 quarter isn't famous for any widespread errors, it's always worth checking your coin for anything unusual. Look for things like doubling on the lettering or Washington's profile, off-center strikes, or any other oddities. So while the 1974 Washington Quarter is generally just worth its face value, there are exceptions, especially if you have an uncirculated proof or error coin. Always keep an eye out for these special traits. 1967 Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932, commemorating the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, has become a staple of U.S. currency. However, the 1967 Washington Quarter holds a unique place in this series. 1967 was a year of significant change for U.S. coins. The Coinage Act of 1965 had recently eliminated silver from quarters, dimes, and half dollars, marking the beginning of the clad era of U.S. coinage. By 1967, the U.S. Mint was still adjusting to this transition, producing quarters with a copper-nickel composition rather than the 90% silver content used before 1965. The 1967 Washington quarter was produced in large quantities to meet the growing demand for coins in circulation. Over 1.5 billion of these quarters were minted across the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Interestingly, none of these coins carry a mint mark. This was due to the mint's efforts to discourage coin collecting during a time when coin shortages were a concern. The design features a right-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse with the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" and the year 1967 on the reverse. We see the iconic eagle clutching a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, a design that remained consistent throughout the quarter's history until the state quarters were introduced in 1999. Now let's talk about what you're really here for: the value of the 1967 Washington quarter. Because so many were minted and they were not made of silver, most 1967 quarters found in circulation are only worth their face value of 25 cents. However, uncirculated coins, particularly those in higher grades, can be worth significantly more to collectors. For instance, a 1967 Washington quarter in MS-65 condition, which is considered gem, uncirculated, can fetch anywhere between $20 to $50 depending on the market. If you're lucky enough to find one in an even higher grade, such as MS-67 or MS-68, you could be looking at a value upwards of $100 or more. These values are largely driven by the coin's condition, eye appeal, and rarity in such high grades. But wait, there's more. There are also some varieties and errors that can increase the value of a 1967 quarter. One such example is the doubled die obverse, where the lettering or design elements are doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These error coins are rare and highly sought after by collectors, sometimes commanding prices of several $100s. So how can you identify if your 1967 Washington quarter is worth more than face value? First, check the overall condition of the coin. Look for any signs of wear, scratches, or discoloration. The fewer imperfections, the higher the grade. Next, inspect the coin or magnification for any doubling on the obverse. Doubling might appear on the letter's date or Washington's profile. Finally, if you think you have an uncirculated or error coin, consider getting it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Grading can significantly impact the value, especially for high-grade or error coins. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1967 Washington quarter. While most of these coins are worth just their face value, certain factors like condition, grading, and rare errors can make some of them quite valuable. Next time you come across one of these quarters, take a closer look. You might just have a hidden treasure in your pocket. I am Poor Man. Please help me if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with fellow coin collectors, and subscribe to our channel for more numismatic content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.